What is up, you guys? It's Coach James here today, sharing another video on the basic tools in Autocad Civil 3D. I am a junior level engineer here in North Carolina, and one thing that was a struggle for me, I guess, when I first started as a civil engineer was learning how to use Autocad Civil 3D and not having anyone to show me how to use the software um, online so that I could get better on my own. So on this channel, I basically walk you through step by step on how to use some of these tools and some typical practices that you'll need to know as a civil engineer. So with all that being said, I don't do any edits to my videos, so I try to keep it raw and natural. So let's go ahead and get into it. So to start, you're going to want to, of course, open up Autocad Civil 3D. And as you can see here, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the location pin. When you drop your location to somebody, it kind of looks like this. Well, in this instance, we have kind of our location ball. We have this line, but this line is extended a little bit too far. So we want to just trim this line so that it stops right at the circle, right? And so this is kind of a basic example, and I have another example for you all for like real life application. I want to keep it simple to start. So first thing you want to do is type in trim, or TR is a shortcut in the command toolbar bottom. All right, and then you want to select your mode. Your mode is very important. We're going to put it on standard. And so the first thing that you want to do is to select your cutting edge. Now your cutting edge in this instance would be the circle. What do I mean by the cutting edge? Well, I know that this circle intersects this line, right? And I know that I want this little end piece of the line to go away. So where can I cut this long line so that I can break it up into pieces? And so my cutting edge, or my slicing edge, is right on that circle. So I'm going to select the circle, my cutting edge. I'm going to hit enter, or the space bar. And then you select the piece that you want to disappear. And you'll see it flash on the screen. And so you click it and then press enter, and it exits you out of the command. So now we trimmed it to look like that location piece. So very simple example. You can use this with any shape. Of course, this is a circle. You got hexagons, triangles, whatever that you're using. A lot of the times it's going to be lines, or not lines, polylines that you're using for different rows and things like that. But let me give you a real life example. So I'm going to get rid of that and bring this over. Okay. So here we have a typical detail for a road section, pretty much. With roads, they're built in a few layers, right? That first layer here is going to be just dirt. They refer to that as subgrade. Then you have gravel. You can kind of see it looks really rocky. Different aggregate sizes. It's typically your ABC stone. And then you have that cement, or that smooth surface while you're driving. So that's how a road would look. Well, in this instance, we want our section just to be a rectangular block, and we have these lines just kind of going everywhere. And we don't like that on our plans. We like to keep things neat, concise. That's the nice thing about being civil engineers. Everything's exact and sharp. So a reviewer or someone looking at our plans would not want to see these extra lines. So I'm going to show you two ways to, I guess, get rid of this. It's going to be similar to the way that we did it before. So I'll show you the standard way. So if you do trim, type in the trim command, and then you select your cutting edge. Well, I don't want anything outside of this long line going forward. So this is definitely one of my trimming edges. And here, I don't want anything on the outside, but I also want it to stop along this line in between here and here. So in this particular example, all of them, all of these outside lines are going to be trim lines. Now, you want to press enter or space bar after that, and then select what you want to disappear. So I want that to disappear, I want this to disappear, this edge, this overhang to disappear, and this overhang to disappear. All right, so now I have a nice block. All right. Well, that was the long way to do it. So it's important that you know what you're doing before you just start taking shortcuts. And so now I'll show you the way to do it a little bit faster in this instance. I'm going to Control Z just to get back out of it. So I'm going to type in trim again, but then I want to select my mode and I want to switch it to be quick. So now, once you've selected quick, you should be able to just select what you want to disappear. And AutoCAD Civil 3D is pretty smart about things. So at any intersection, it kind of knows that right there might be a good point to cut it off. So kind of gauge it. You see, it shows you what it wants to trim before you actually click, which is very helpful. So that's pretty cool. Let me show you why sometimes you wouldn't want to use the quick way. I'm just gonna make some lines really quickly. Okay. So looks like we're playing tic-tac-toe right now. But for this specific example, I want to get rid of a particular piece. And that particular piece is, I'm going to show you, I'm going to highlight it for you. I want to get rid of this piece only. Right? So, in order to do that, we're going to trim. We're going to select our mode to be quick. It is on quick. And so luckily it does do it for this particular example. But sometimes AutoCAD is not that smart, so it will actually try to cut a bigger piece than you want. So it may try to, let's put it on standard so I can show you. So for this example, if you put it on standard and was to trim everything on outside of that, it cuts out the whole piece. So when you're selecting those trim lines, you can use it to your advantage. So you're cutting, when you select your cutting edges, in this instance, we want it to be both of these lines so that we can focus and only cut those center pieces. So you can use it to your advantage, the quick versus the standard method and see which ones you like best. Also, you're able to you can actually extend in this command by holding shift. So if you're doing a lot of trimming and extending lines, let's say we want to trim the outside of this box, but we also want to extend this line that I've highlighted out to the box, then you can hold shift to do that. So if I'm in my trim command, my mode should be standard. I'm going to select all my pretty much cutting edges. Then I'm going to select the lines that I want to disappear. So I want those to go away because I want a box. I want all those lines to go away. And I just want my box. But then I want this line, right? I want this line to extend out to those sections. So I just hold down shift. I don't have to switch into another command. I just hold down shift. And now I can extend that line out to that box. So you'll notice that does come in handy when you're trying to get things done quickly. So hopefully that helps you all. If you have any questions on anything, please be sure to leave it in the comment section down below. Feel free to subscribe if you found this video helpful, and reach out to me if you have any other questions. I'm available. I enjoy making content like this, so again, hopefully it was helpful, and I will be doing a video on how to use the extend command, so stay tuned for that. Until next time, peace out, guys.